Alright, hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the new 2022 Golf R. Now, this is obviously the Mark 8. This is going to be, I think it's pretty much going to be based off the MQB platform. It was such a great platform for them to go. There are going to be some tweaks to it, but I think overall it's going to be really based off the prior models. And that's not a bad thing because the MQB platform it's amazing. So as far as I know now, these are obviously all kind of general known knowledge, but you know, everything could be subject to change. But I do want to mention that the car is expected to have around 320 horsepower. Again, probably around, let's say 30 more than what a traditional Golf R would have, especially in the US market, but that's good. That's a lot of power. And you know, it's still 30 under the Focus RS, but it's a step in the right direction. We'll kind of get more into kind of the race pedigree and kind of one of the reasons why I actually really do like this car and the idea of it. And I kind of just the general marketability. I think Volkswagen is marketing it very well right now, and we'll have to see what it's like to drive. But anyway, so as far as other specs that is known, there are rumors for a manual transmission with obviously the optional dual clutch. I believe it'll probably be a DSG dual clutch. And aside from just transmission, it will also, as far as modes go, it'll have drift mode and pretty much all the other modes that you're used to. I've seen actually, I think they were in the intro video, they were scrolling through some of the modes, and I think it's honestly even the same like layout and just look of the you know, when you put the car in race mode in the 7.5s like in this car. So that's going to be kind of cool, and I don't know, I think it's going to be really adaptable and a really fun car to drive. Now I think it's also a revised Haldex system too, so there will be a little bit, obviously with drift mode, there'll probably be a little bit more play in the rear and a little bit more power that goes to the rear wheels, which is always something that enthusiasts want. So really promising performance figures. And overall, I think it's going to be really cool. Again, we don't know anything about 0 to 60 yet. We don't know really much about braking distance. He's still kind of figuring all that out, but it looks like it's going to be a really promising car for sure. Now we'll kind of talk a little bit on the overall aesthetics of the car. So we'll jump right into the front of the car. So the front, it looks a little bit like a blend between Mark 7 and Mark 7.5. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's something I'll probably have to grow into and you know, start to like the more I see it. But it's not like I didn't fall in love with it like I fell in love with the 7.5s. It still looks a little different from just the general Mark 7s, but it's a blend of Mark 7 in the same respect. But I don't know, I think it looks fine. It looks sporty, and yeah, it will probably stand out a decent amount for sure. Kind of talking onto the rear of the car, the rear is probably the most significant difference, I think. Again, it still has that golfy look, but at the same time, it's really sharp edged. I think it's a lot more hunkered down, really sporty. The rear windshield appears to be a lot smaller than the Mark 7s. The Mark 7s kind of have that bubbly look. The 8s are going to probably be a lot more, you know, sloped down, a lot more aggressive. So that'll be kind of cool. I think also there's going to be an optional Akrapovic exhaust, and that's potentially something that may hit the US market. I know everyone wanted it in the US market and we never got it, but it'd be cool to see it as an option because it'd be something that I would consider if I were to look into a Mark 8 R. So obviously there's a rear wing, a new wing that's it's really long. It's like a VMAX wing, I guess you could call it. And I think it looks pretty sporty. It really, again, it sets it apart from how the Mark 8 GTI looks. So that's probably one of the other reasons that you can tell it apart. I think Volkswagen really focused on ways and really tried hard to do anything they could to make the Mark 8 R not look like the Mark 8 GTI, and I think they did a pretty good job. So we'll have to see obviously how these cars roll out. So really promising stuff for sure. So the interior, and hear me out when I say this, I mean this in the most great way possible. I think Volkswagen did an amazing job in their interior, and I would almost classify that as a last generation C-Class, and that's the best thing you could possibly say for a Volkswagen interior. The last generation C-Class still to this day is amazing. I love it. Even maybe I would even say current gen C-Class. It's beautiful. Obviously, you know, like S-Class is amazing. It's the cream of the crop, especially for like any car interior, and that's my opinion. But I personally think that this new Mark 8 R is a very luxurious and nice interior. Obviously, it has some sporty aspects, and I'm a huge fan of the one-piece seats with the obviously non-adjustable headrest. I like how it's all part of one seat, so I think that looks really awesome, and that's something that I think a lot of people are going to like, because that's one of the reasons why I like the Audi S3s, because those one-piece seats with the quilted leather, that was one of the reasons why I was going to buy it, but I'm glad I never bought it because I like my R a lot. So steering wheel looks pretty cool. It's really reminiscent of the Mark 7 steering wheel. Love it or hate it, it'll probably be a little bit more bolstered. And another thing that's kind of nice to see is the perforated leather, so that'll make it stand out. I'm a huge fan also of the paddle shifters. They appear to be mounted to the wheel, but that's okay because they are huge and they're finally something that's not just a plastic. You know, they've a step in the right direction for sure. Everything looks just really good about the car, and it's something I would totally consider depending on how well this car holds its value. If these cars tank in value, chances are I'm going to end up keeping this car for a lot longer. But if they hold their value until the Mark 8, which is probably, you know, who knows what's going to happen. They probably won't, but if they do, there's a chance that I might scoop a Mark 8 R. Who knows? Obviously, it depends on my job situation, money, everything. But expect these cars to be out in probably fall of 2021. That's the expected release of these cars. That's probably when they're going to start hitting dealers, and they may sell out. Who knows? I don't know how many Volkswagen is making. I don't think they've announced a number yet, a production number. But it's definitely something to look into for sure. So with that said, hopefully you guys got a cool insight on my idea of the Mark 8 R. I think it's something I would consider for sure. I think it's a really, really nice car, and it has some cool features, and it's a step in the right direction because it has that race pedigree that Volkswagen has always kind of wanted to associate with these cars. These cars have just been a little bit buttoned down, and that's not a bad thing. Obviously, it's not a Focus RS, it's not supposed to be, but I do love my Golf R. I think it's an amazing car. It's my favorite daily, but it'd be cool if they added a little bit more spice, you know what I mean? So with that said, thank you guys again for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.